When we started into this about 7 years ago, we had 49 kids at our first camp and really noticed what the movement was that's been going down south for decades in 7-on-7 and football being played almost a version of travel football. If somebody down south or out west or out east are doing something more than you, repetition of your technique and perfecting the craft, how are you supposed to compete with them when it comes down to either playing them or competing for a scholarship? We wanted to add something like that to our program, really embody our mission in providing on and off the field development through our program. Take all the top athletes from every major city in Michigan, regional directors and staffs in each respective area, and build a backbone for a platform that has become the 7-on-7 statewide league, the only kind in the country. I'm Justin Sassante, founder of the Legacy Football Program and National Director of Operations, and have made this sport part of my life since I was 8 years old. It's more than a game, it's an experience, but there's numbers being lost in the game. Legacy Football actually derived out of the west side of Detroit, where I grew up, in a nonprofit called Hype. I did a camp with Herman Moore, and he inspired me to really get myself into this off-season circuit.
This off-season program that we have created at Legacy is to help guys get to the next level. You have to be dedicated, you have to be passionate, and it has to be year-round.
Our mission is really to be the premier off-season football development program in the Midwest and provide education, recruiting, athletic development opportunities to great young men. Our biggest program is a 7-on-7 statewide league, the only statewide league in the country. The kids would get a recruiting seminar for them and the parents, SAT prep, community service, and play against the top competition in the entire state. You know, we don't want the wear and tear on the body, although 7-on-7 still gets very physical and there's tremendous athletes out there breaking on footballs and going up for catches. We want to make sure that the head is still taken care of, and why we wear these rugby-style helmets.
We want to decrease impact as much as we possibly can and still make it a great environment to develop.
That doesn't mean that all of us together don't have the same common goal. That's to get better for the fall and get rocking and get where you need to go in life and in this game of football. So make sure we respect each other. Sportsmanship doesn't mean don't go hard. We are going to go hard till we crown the champion. Who's going to take the crown?
Being champs last year, we hope to repeat. There's a lot of good teams out here, but we think we can play with all of them, and hopefully we're able to bring home the championship.
Once we get through what we call the development month, you know, we go ahead and start practicing, and practicing really starts with the chalk talk, in classroom schemes, review them on film, and give them a chance to see themselves and fix what's wrong. So we want kids to understand concepts so they can compete, and then we really stress fundamentals. A lot of positional work, a lot of footwork, balance, explosiveness, and understanding how to perfect their craft.
The first day, you know, for me, I really want to just get a baseline for guys.
You know, all the guys is looking in your eyes, and they feed off your energy. You got to do something different than the other players. Great pocket presence as a quarterback, and my leadership role. You know, them two big things you have to have as a quarterback and as a player to play this game. It's just a lot of good athletes, and we have a great coach on the team. Combination of kids from everywhere.
We try to make it pretty easy for guys to understand our playbooks. At the same time, we don't overcoach things and create bad habits that they take to high school.
Those 3 or 4 practices before the season, they were huge. They played a big part in our success. Playing with receivers that you never played before, you got to get some practice before the season so you can get your timing down. Having a different style playbook here, I think that's going to help me adjust to the college life. When I get up to Michigan State, it's going to be different than what I'm doing in high school. It's going to be a lot more complex.
And really, we're teaching. You know, I'm giving my knowledge to the young guys so that way they can take it with them.
Once we get through what we call the development month, uniforms are ordered, we bring the league together, and kids come down for an hour-and-a-half slot and play against 3 other teams in that hour-and-a-half slot, in which we keep standings, we keep stats, video, and now we have even a radio show. Then we will play at the end of the year for the state championship. We wanted to make sure to keep fundamentals as a core pillar in everything that we did, and not only fundamentals on the football field, but fundamentals in the classroom and in life. We always wanted to make education and social services a top priority. Obviously, the game of football being the honey to bring the kids in.
The dream of college athletics is a very powerful motivator for a number of student athletes. They see ESPN, they watch the recruiting more than they ever have in the past.
I have the Legacy 7-on-7 flag football package on the DirecTV. My boy Logan Tobel makes the sick one-handed grab I called Kamagan.
My name is Logan Tobel. I'm a freshman. I play wide receiver, and I love the competition. I mean, that's what I play for. Making me think about what I have to do to get to the next level, to get to college, to put what I have on the field right back into school.
It's a competitive world out there. There's way too many athletes that want scholarships than they're offered scholarships, right? But understand, there's a lot of ways to get your dream fulfilled. A lot of ways. And what we're trying to make sure you understand is test scores is one of them. We're giving you this next 2 hours an ACT test and an SAT test. Why are we giving you both? NCAA doesn't care which one you get qualified with. So we want to be student-centered. We want to make sure you guys understand I can take either test. It's a game plan like a football game. Go into that test and have a game plan. This is just like going after the greatest opponent you play against. If you're confident, positive, you'll do well. All right, I'm a former college coach for 6 years, so I would recruit the state of Michigan. This is why we do what we do. Because you cannot sit here in front of us and say, I don't know what my NCAA GPA is. That's the most important number after your name.
Having the exposure to these tests, it's an opportunity to advance and get better at these things that could help me play onto the next level in college.
I think if we just had SAT prep classes or core GPA classes, they're not just going to show up. You know, the football brought them here, and when we have them, we harness their energy.
As a former college coach, I encountered hundreds of kids that their transcripts just wasn't strong enough. They don't have the grades. We want kids to understand the higher my GPA is to a 4.0, the more college athletic opportunities I'll have before they even hit the football field. The impact of that GPA, that transcript on recruiting.
Understanding that without that classroom side of things, they're not going to have the scholarship opportunity, they're not going to get recruited. You know, it's our responsibility to prepare them, and not only to get to college, but to stay in school.
My name is Reggie Pearson, I go to River Rouge High, and I play safety, and I play for Legacy Detroit. I'm actually going in spring next year to Wisconsin, and I'm going to major in mechanical engineering. I feel excited, but I know that there is always a next play. You got to go through the same thing when you go to college. You got to be able to adapt in different situations and be at burst. I can play safety, I can play corner, play receiver, I can play anything on the field. I'm very versatile. I guess I can say I'm a ball hawk when it comes to 7-on-7.
One of my best intangibles as a player is my smarts. I know both sides of the ball. I can dictate what a wide receiver is going to do, and vice versa with offense. It's just hard work in the classroom translates onto the football field. But right now, I'm my sophomore year in high school. I have a 3.8, and when I first came into class, I wasn't knowing what to expect.
With the NCAA rules, a lot of 16, 15-year-old kids are really confused.
When you have them there, make sure that you have a dynamic program that works on every aspect of their life.
We try to cover all components of a total student athlete: character, education, leadership. We started the Legacy Award Academic Progress Report as a tool to make sure we're about education, not just talking about education. Did you complete all your homework? Did you go to class on time? Did you study well for your exams, and were you well behaved? College coaches can't invest in questionable kids. When you're talking about a full ride scholarship, every little thing counts. We need to acknowledge our academic champion this year, Legacy Navy. They had 99% of all their student athletes fulfilled the academic requirements.
Navy on 3, 1, 2, 3. Navy!
Yes, sir.
I'm going to bring back to my high school how important the ACT and SAT are in order to get those scholarships, especially if you want to play college athletics.
We want to have another competition next year for community service. Get involved in your community, give back. That's an important component to your scholarships you can apply for college admissions. So we're really going to push the directors and the student athletes to make that an individual competition. So the exciting part of the Legacy Award is that we can continue it next year. And now that we have the coaches and the directors across the state understanding the process, I think we'll be able to hit the ground running.
The program we're putting on display is there's nothing like it in the entire country.
Guys, what kind of experience is this for you? You're obviously going to Michigan State next year. You're going to Wisconsin. You guys get to match up against each other. It's pretty cool to see two guys from the area who are going to play D1 elsewhere.
Come on, Reggie, pressure's on now.
Not everybody is a Division I prospect, but there's a lot of opportunities in colleges, and we want to make sure we used Legacy to give opportunity to young men to trade the game of football for educational dollars. I've been involved in recruiting since the late 90s, almost 20 years. I guess people decided I had a knack for evaluating talent, finding out the kids who maybe others missed, and projecting them as the future of college football. Never promise anyone a scholarship because that's not feasible or realistic. But I'm there to help parents maneuver through the recruiting process. We don't talk about a 4-year plan. Our plan is about a 40-year plan, what you're going to do after the game of football. Academics is a major part of that, but also camps, combines, highlight film, huddle film, what they're doing in social media, and anything that they do interactive with a college coach.
I really started picking up my recruiting. I've been going to a lot of camps in Chicago, everywhere trying to get noticed, get that exposure. Before this, I really wasn't as known, and now I had a few interviews, and I feel like my name is getting bigger and bigger each and every tournament, so I'm really appreciative for Legacy for that. I feel like I'm a great deep threat receiver, jump balls, 50-50 balls, and I think I run very precise routes. When I went back to my school after playing a few tournaments, people was like, dang, bro, you got better. So I feel like it's really improving my game all around.
You know, everything starts from a little competition. Then you see somebody and you're like, I can be better. We're not trying to recruit, we're trying to get exposure. The relationships that we build with these young guys, understanding them, showing them notoriety, letting them know that people watching them, people care. Sports in the D, the visual that we give, that's a platform that we're creating. We're mixing that exposure with culture, with video, with sports. We just here to get your story. That's our main goal and our main initiative.
These guys, they put in hours and hours of work. They do it because they have a passion for helping young men. It doesn't matter what group that helps you guys get where you need to go, but you need to put in that extra work.
My name is Tim Hopkins, and I'm the host of the Coach Hop Show. I've been a coach for almost 25 years. Became a radio personality and kind of spearheaded it into the Coach Hop Show. Over the past 5 weeks, we've interviewed at least 15 kids per session to enrich and ensure that the kids get a fair opportunity to get comfortable in front of the mic to maximize their exposure. Giving them a vessel to be able to connect with college coaches and also be able to evaluate and correspond when needed. In conjunction with Legacy, we plan on doing more projects, more interactions. We have other partnerships with the sports in the D and the D zone.
My name is Jeff Corian. I started the D zone in 2010 as a better way of providing exposure for Michigan high school athletes at no cost. Quickly realized that, these Division II, NAIA, D3 recruits weren't getting proper exposure. For us, it's the kids at the end of the day. All it takes is one tweet, one video for a coach to see something that really stands out to him. The whole age of technology really helps out a lot.
We've been making some plays that are just not normal plays. Talk about them.
Every week we have all 20 teams in and we involve the parents. We like to have everybody involved on the same page because it takes a village.
The most important component by far is the parents being educated and the parents understanding the reality, not living in a false world of misguided hope and misunderstandings. They have the best questions. They see the big picture.
What Legacy's done is they've brought everything in-house. It's allowed them to play against the best kids in the state on a week-to-week basis. So when we go back to our high school, it's almost slow motion.
You're going to go against some of the top players in the state, maybe some of the top players in the country. So we want to make sure that we target all the major areas of Michigan.
Legacy had a bunch of different guys from a bunch of different places. You got guys from Muskegon, you got guys from Canada, you got guys from Detroit, guys from Lansing, and that excites us.
One of the things that we're most proud of is bringing kids from different cultures, backgrounds, and ethnicities, and they become a family under the Legacy roof. They're meeting kids that they would have never met before, and they're really taking a lot of pride in their city and their area, saying we have players as well, and there's these rivalries that are built across the state, but rivalries built with respect.
Nothing changes, fellas. Our sportsmanship, everything that we stand for, we're under the same umbrella. We represent the same things. Go hard or go home.
Hey, championship day, baby.
On the horn, 25 minutes on the clock. Referees ready. DTG ready. Legacy Navy ready. Red Jones ready.
believe all the resource and the people that are around you are the most important for growth and success, and we have the perfect platform to do so here at Legacy Football. The facility is amazing.
A full-length field with stadium seating is something that we're very proud to offer to all our families here at Legacy and to the kids. So we want to use all of these things to our advantage, something that they can build from and learn from as well, and use it as a tool for them to get better.
That's crucial in a cold weather state. This is really a place that's a worldwide sports, and Disney meets an IMG. But I see the future of this and what has been going on in soccer and hockey and lacrosse and basketball for decades, this travel type of development. I see it just continue to grow. Found a model that worked, and we went from having one team to 3 teams to 5 teams to now having 17. And we really figured out how to take these 10 dates and impact those pillars of success we talk about. And it's very unique, not only for the state of Michigan, but for the Midwest. I've really found a home here at Legacy. I'm really proud to be part of this group and how they do things.
Not everybody can be a Division I player. They may not be the next star at Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, but they have a chance to trade the game for educational dollars. This game can change your life.
Bring it up in the middle, fellas. Let's go. It's all about competing, baby. Every day we standing on it, okay? Compete on 3. 1, 2, 3.